This meeting will come to order. It is to be noted in the book of minutes that the required 48-hour notice was mailed to the office of the Times, the Trentonian, and the clerk of the city of Trenton, as well as posted in the main entrance of the authority, 875 New Willow Street, in accordance to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law. Before we get started, please silence your cell phones if it's not already on silent. Thank you very much. Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Here.
Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Staten.
Here.
Commissioner Walker.
Here.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon.
On our way.
I'd like to suggest a motion to adopt the agenda.
Vice Chair, I have I'd like to make a amendment to the agenda for today.
Do we have to have the motion on the table first?
Oh, yeah, I think we do.
We want to adopt it with the amendments, what you're asking.
Right.
Okay. What's the amendment?
The amendment is for the public session. I'd like to have any the public session specifically towards the security service moved up before the resolutions.
So under 8, you want a separate public session for the discussion about the prime security services.
Correct. I want it before item 8. Correct.
And that would then indicate that the balance of the public session would not address that issue.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So is there a second to that motion? To adopt the agenda with that?
I second.
Just to clarify, you want public comments before resolution 2619 or after resolution 2619?
Before
So before it's
resolution.
presented.
I want it before the presentation by Prime Security.
Okay.
So I want
make
it.
it 7.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
7.5.
Do I still call roll call? Or
Yeah.
Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Staten.
Yes.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon.
The agenda with the amendment has been officially approved. And at this time, I can pass it over to our chairwoman. All right, so I'll continue to go. I'd like to suggest a motion to adopt the regular meeting minutes for the meeting held on May 13, 2026.
So second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Staten.
Yes.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon.
I'd like to also suggest a motion to approve the executive session meeting minutes for the meeting held on May 13, 2026.
Motion
Any second?
Second.
Roll call. Question?
Comments on the second, on the executive session minutes.
Yes.
Poorly written, poorly recorded, they weren't accurate. And so I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you for your comments. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Abstain.
Commissioner Staten.
Abstain.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon.
Yes.
Motion successfully passes. We would like to now present or give time to our Secretary Reporter's report.
Secretary report, I just want to update the board that our executive team has been and will be attending professional development conferences. Our Director of Redevelopment recently participated in a committee discussion for building strategic playbooks and economic self-sufficiency held in Norfolk, Virginia. That was held by one of our partners, USI, that gives the ability for development leaders or community development leaders to have open discussions revolving around choice neighborhood and the implications of choice neighborhoods and how it affects our communities. For later this week, members of the executive team will be traveling to Chicago for the FADA conference, and that conference will cover aspects of procurement policy, legal compliance, as well as innovative and diverse revenue streams, strategies for helping us build out on our unrestricted income and participation in community discussions that revolve around HUD's proposed rule changes and that deal with fair housing and cash management. The participation in this discussion helps us build out our management abilities, our professionalism in the public housing industry. We want to make sure that we continue to participate with leaders in this environment. So that is my report and information section. Now we have
Any questions or comments on the secretary report? One question.
yes, sir.
If I were to put it like in one sentence, what you said, basically our staff are being empowered to speak more deeply on choice neighborhood and its impacts in Trenton.
You have from choice neighborhood and taking what's going on in the industry itself, taking some of the insights of what's been successful and how do we apply it for choice. Then you also, for the FADA conference, you also have it for us building out professionalism amongst our executive staff.
Okay, thank you. In accordance to the adopted agenda, actually, no, hold on. We have a presentation for information education session. That was together? Okay. We now have time for our guest Prime Security Services to do,
No, we have.
in accordance to the adopted agenda, we have public comments on security in the public housing here in Trenton. And so if anybody has public comments for security and our Prime Security Services, now is the time to speak. Any other public comments will be held off until the designated time during public session. Yeah, so,
1 second, madam. Okay.
all right, thank you. If you could please state your name and address.
My name is Deborah Hutchison. I'm at Josephson Building, 237 Oakland Street. I'm Vice President on the Resident Council. The issues that we have with security is we have a side door which is used for maintenance, but the alarm is broke for the 15th time. We have residents bringing in.
These aren't the comments.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
think-
Ms. Hutchinson, this is
So-
strictly for security services.
Yeah, but I thought Prime was the
So
one
point of
supposed to
clarity
be.
here for the board as well as for all residents. One moment. Prime Security are our people that we have contracted for extra security, so armed guards within the housing authority. Other security matters of the securing the premises, physically,
Okay.
that is of the authority. So if you have comments
Okay.
specifically related
Well,
to
I
armed
think
guards.
that Prime should come walk through the building. They were doing it, walking from the 9th floor all the way down, coming periodically during the day. That has stopped. They used to come and ride around during nighttime to the back part of the building and the side part. That has stopped. I have noticed them, they will ride through, but just ride through, like, just go from one entrance and out the next. Before, they used to go in the back, go around from the back and come back out and make their rounds. I don't see them come walking through the building anymore, nor do I see them patrolling our parking lots like they used to do. It's like I used to see them come in and check with Trenton Housing Security. I don't see that anymore in our building.
Thank you.
Okay?
And then if you have other comments during the
I know,
session,
I know, I got it, I understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because it's on the outside, there's a barrier of our gate on the outside. They're supposed to put
Okay, is that all right? Okay. Hello, everybody. I'll wait until everyone is finished. Hello, how are you? I am great. My name is,
Sorry, one moment. Our policy, just as a reminder, is 3 or 5 minutes unless otherwise. Okay, so just clarity, 3 minutes to speak.
I wasn't
unless-
gonna take that long,
Okay,
sweetheart.
yes,
I
thank
had
you.
something very quick.
For the general knowledge of everyone, 3 minutes to speak unless, an adoption on our end is made to make an exception. Please state your name and address.
Okay, so my name is Londina Bobo Downs. I live at the Abbott Building. Okay, so we have Hoffman and Oakland right there, where there is a liquor store and a whole environment. Okay, so I'm thinking that they're supposed to patrol that because we have people all around our border throwing garbage, doing all this kind of stuff, where housing authority has to then go and clean it up. People tossing things out the window at Joseph can hurt somebody. Where's security? They're sitting in the back. TV room. I didn't say Joseph. I said Abbott.
Please, we are only gonna
Okay,
ask-
so excuse me, Abbott.
I'm gonna ask that all people in the crowd to please keep your comments to yourself. If you have comments, you can write in your name for sign-up sheet, and I ask that you also just direct your comments to us and try to ignore if there's anything in the back.
Okay, no
Thank you.
problem. So anyway, that whole environment around our fence and everything like that, it's not nothing nice over there, y'all. They shooting, they doing things all the time. Where's our security at that we pay for, right? So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to talk about crime security?
Hi, my name is Virginia Marshall, Donnelly Resident Council and resident here. With prime security, we have an issue with because in the beginning, when we got the guard booth, the arms, and all the residents was told to sign up to get decals, meaning the numbers on your car on the front entrance so that they can see that, know that you live here. That's not being done anymore. The arms are not being used when they feel like it. I came in, was it Friday? 3 o'clock, they started with the grill, all of that. Security was right out there. They should have shut it down. They know these people don't live here. They know what it escalates to. So, again, when I came back, that was 10:19 p.m., they had the arm down. Okay, you saw my decal, okay. Then by the time I got to the mailbox, it was a whole bunch of cars. We couldn't get in. We had to wait till they drank a Henny bottle and walk in front of the car and all this nonsense. You want to say prime security, this and that. I really feel like we should look into another security company to illustrate or do what is needed for the safety of these residents, people that work here, and safety period. We don't want to keep having incidents that keep happening. These people that be out here, they don't live here. They congregate, they do their drug sales, they gamble, they drink, and everything else. I don't want to get too detailed in it, but you know what they do. And it's a disrespect to the residents that live here, even the workers that work here that have to leave and go through that. And when you come, something has to be done, and you can't have security out there saying, oh, they're not listening to me, they're not doing. Okay, then that's when you get the police involved. The police got to get on ball too. They got to not come here, drive in, leave out. Break it up. You know they don't live here. You know when people are drinking and mixing paraphernalia together, it's going to escalate to a fight. It's going to escalate to gun situations, and we don't want that here. We don't be involved in that. We don't want it. We've already been there, done this. How many times we going to keep doing this or losing lives or people getting hurt before it just shut it down? It has to be shut down. We can't do no more excuses. I'm sorry, I don't care about people working on it. It has to be executed, it has to be done. If they don't have nowhere to go, that's their issue. They don't live here. They can't take over a development that they don't pay rent to, they don't have no LLC to. You cannot let them take over and feel like we supposed to be in fear. They can just do what they want to do. They cannot. And as long as I'm still living around here, I'm not allowing it. I'm going to go to the highest level it can go. It's going to get shut down, period.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else with public comments regarding prime security?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is
State your name and address.
Olivia Graham. I live in the Abbott Building, apartment 103. Talking about the prime, like the other residents stated, they did used to come and walk the buildings. Now they just drive through and leave. I don't see them no more. They used to go from the 9th floor all the way down to the 1st. Far as people, I think that like Prime should go out there and get the people off the side of the building, at least ask them to move. Our security Shabazz had to come in every morning, take the chairs from all on the side of the building, on the side of Abbott Building, throw it and take them across the street. And people just sit there all day long, smoke and drink. I live on the 1st floor, so I can hear all this going on unless I turn my TV all the way on 100. Nobody makes them move. I was thinking maybe if there was some signs to say no stopping or standing, or you get a fine or something, if y'all can post all the way from the trash cans up on the side of Abbott, I think that's open, I think, all the way to the corner where the liquor store at, but on Trenton Housing Authority property would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's the last one.
Last call for comments on prime security services. All right, thank you. Moving on, we now have the presentation of prime security services. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi. My name is Elroy Smith. I'm the CEO of Prime Security. Thank you for having me here to explain our side of it and answer any questions the board might have about our services here. A little bit about us. We started in 2011 as a security company. Prior to then, I've worked with some of the major security companies. My expertise are in public housing. I've done other municipalities and mostly low-income housing in Newark, Patterson, and other areas. So this is my forte. We've been contracted by the Trenton Housing Authority for the last 3 years and some months since our contract expired in April. So right now we are on a month-to-month basis. I heard a lot of the complaints, and they're legitimate complaints. My thing to that is that initially we were contracted for Donnelly Homes, and Donnelly Homes for a particular period of time. I'll give you the schedule. It's weekends 24 hours, Monday to Friday it's from 4 p.m. to 8 in the morning. So for instance, I heard the young lady mention at 3 p.m. they were starting. We're not here until 4. So obviously, many times we would walk into such situations. And anyone who've done security, any form of policing will know once it's harder to diffuse or correct if the situation have already started before you get there. We service the other buildings that were mentioned, Abbott and the French buildings, for the fire watch services. And within those services, we would do the patrol. And you know, we're there, why not patrol the building? But that wasn't what we were contracted for. But we did it out of request from the resident through Mr. Godfrey, Mr. Glover, that hey, you guys are there, just walk the building. And we did it. So yes, you would have seen a absence of our security guards there because the fire watch is over. So we restructure our services to what's the contract is and what's needed most. And We all know about the last couple of incidents at Donnelly, so yes, the services were moved from the Abbott and the French buildings back to Donnelly to make sure that we have the extra support that was needed, because that's where most of our complaints were coming out with the unfortunate events that happened a couple months ago in April and so on. So that's what happened with the services being removed from the other buildings. It wasn't contracted, it was just attached to the fire watch services, which ended. So I understand the concern, but that was just the reason why that they wouldn't see us there anymore. Not that there is any lack in what the guards are doing, it's basically the fire watch ended. So we can't be there anymore. So we are back at where the contract is, but as you know, that as a company, over the last 3 years, we've been asked to do anything within the security scope, and we responded like in real time. There was no delays, like the fire watch buildings happened, we had both buildings covered. We were asked to ramp up our security coverage over here at Donnelly after the events. We've done that within real time, there was no delay in that. And yes, we're working with an open campus at Donnelly. When I say an open campus, there's more than one entry point at Donnelly. It's not just the main Southern Street entrance that everyone is scheduled to come into, that we could monitor that. So sometimes you won't see someone at the front doing what they're supposed to, because there's other entrances that has to be checked. There's crevices and there's caverns within Donnelly homes that our guards have to make sure that they're checking. Does some people slip through because of those things? Yes, it does, because for us or for any company to completely lock it down, we'll have to put a guard at every entrance that Donnelly has, and we all know it's really not possible because of others, whatever resources are not that's available to us. It's not possible to lock every gate down in Donnelly. So what we do, we've implemented, along with Mr. Godfrey and Mr. Glover's input, a roving patrol outside of our Donnelly scope. So sometimes you would see the truck driving through these places, but yeah, they won't stop and search the buildings, because not only are they not assigned to those buildings, but they have to show even of a glimpse of a presence at the other buildings within Trenton Housing Authority. So yeah, you will see the truck thing, and we hope that serves as a sufficient deterrent. It does not always work that way, but we think it's better than nothing than to just have no form of security. We've been helpful towards the in-house Trenton guards. I mean, they're the ones responsible mainly for the buildings, but at any time they need an escort or they need support from our team is ready. We've also brought in an earlier guard that covers from midday to 8 o'clock to have an overlap, so he might not be stationed at the gate or any particular building, but he's there to respond if there is a problem at another building that might require an armed guard support, an armed guard to back him up in some form. We've implemented that at Trent housing request, and I think security is hard to, success in security is hard to quantify, because you really can't say, okay, this is happening. The only way you can really quantify your success is compared to other areas within Trenton. And I think regardless of the couple of incidents we have, but unfortunate, our presence here has been a deterrent compared to other locations in Trenton. We've been a deterrent. Someone sees the guys at the fence, at the gate with a gun, it's less probably that it's going to have an incident. If they move away, then yeah, you create an opening for them to come up. But in my opinion, I think we've did well here for the last 3 years. We've created a great line of communication with the administration of Trenton Housing, along with the police department. And there's not always that response from the police department, but they do their best to help us out in cases. And there are some things that a guard can't handle by themselves that we need the police to handle. We need the police to handle. I'm not going to sit here and say we are going to start arresting, and there's limitations to a security guard, not just for this company, to any company you use. There are limitations to what an armed guard could do and cannot do. As far as keeping people out of your building, because it's a public space, unless there's a trespass order against that person, we cannot tell them do not come in, unfortunately. What we could do is tell them they cannot drive into the property. We could limit that, but it's a public space. We cannot, unless there's a trespass order that's given to us from the authority, we cannot tell a person they cannot enter the grounds of public housing. And we've tried that, and it's been shut down many times in different municipalities. Unless there's a trespass order, we cannot tell them you cannot enter. We could tell them you could park on the road. We could implement that because it's a residents-only parking. And then there's also, but then the opposite of that is visitors parking. What's the visitors parking to? If they're saying, okay, I'm going to my aunt, she says, let them up. There's parking assigned to visitors. So there's really so much we could do when it comes to who enter here, as long as they're not publicly disobeying any rules. The most we could do is ask them to park outside, and even with that, there's some caveats that if the residents within the complex authorizes them to come in, they're allowed to come in. On Friday, there was an event here that was sponsored. So yeah, there was a build-up, but that wasn't a build-up as in the sense of it was a sponsored event in the gymnasium that someone was having, and that was the reason that it was a build-up of cars in the area.
They ask you to keep your comments to yourself, please.
Yeah. So with that said, there's room for improvement, and in my opinion, I think a better working relationship with the residents, the police department, and the housing authority could achieve that. But in my opinion, I think we've done a good job in keeping Donnelly Homes as safe as possible, given the resources that we are working with, and the problems that come within working in low-income areas. I think we've done a decent job of it. Any questions?
Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I word my words correctly. Security is hard. It is hard to do, especially here in Trenton. But I think what we all need to take into consideration is there is a law now that even the police cannot ask somebody to move along. So I want us all to think that when we see these things going on, we need to think really hard about how we want to handle that, because there's consequences for everyone. So if the housing authority now makes a rule that whoever the unit that this gathering is going to send them a cease and desist notice. Now, some of the tenants are probably saying, oh, I don't know who they are. Nobody wants to snitch on anybody. Nobody want to say anything until things get really bad. At the end of the day, everybody has to work together in order to have a better living environment. Because some of this, I have said 99 times, it's the company that you keep. Who is allowing the outsiders to come in and cause chaos? They're here to visit somebody, regardless if it's in the front, the back, the middle, wherever. Somebody is allowing them to come and bring out grills. Where are they getting these grills from? Did they take them out of the trunk and start lighting stuff up? Where are they choosing to put these grills at? In front of somebody's home. So everybody has to speak up before a piece of paper is documented into law, and then some of the tenants are gonna feel as though they're being picked on. switching cases. It's not that, but we're just trying to make sure that we all do the same thing.
Just a point of clarity, want to make sure we're maintaining relevance with the presentation for private security services, the
That is true.
section.
That is true. It is still all about security. They can still only do but so much.
Okay, thank you.
I have some.
Go ahead.
So it sounds to me, like you said, you're pretty much doing the best you can with the resources that you have, correct?
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
And you talked about firewatch services, and these firewatch services is what allows you to be able to walk through the buildings at the high rises.
Correct.
And you said that that has been implemented again. It had stopped, and did I hear you say that it's implemented again where you will be walking through the building?
No, it stopped. That caused us to cease the building walkthroughs. The firewatch ended in April, and so did the walkthrough, because we kind of did a double duty when we did the fire watch. Instead of just looking for fires, we also took care of quality of life issues while we walked the buildings.
So it sounds like we need to implement something else for you to be able to do that.
That
give
would
us
be helpful.
Service again.
Again, we're here. Anything that the authority requests, we'll be able to assist.
Let me ask that question. We had a fire, we were under a fire watch from the fire department coming to the senior buildings. They came to the senior buildings and we were deficient in some format. They would not let us operate the building if we don't have personnel there to conduct the fire watch. So somebody has to be there in case of a fire. Due to our limited staffing and personnel, we tasked the security company to have it because they're already on site and doing the patrols. So as they were doing the patrols, we say, go every hour, you have to go check, walk the flights of stairs until we rectified whatever the issue was that was addressed by the fire department. And so we had to wait for the parts to come in for them to update the generators and stuff. Once they did that update, we discontinued the fire watch, or we were allowed to discontinue the fire watch. Which you see a lack there of services that are being requested. So people are, hey, we appreciate having someone there from a presence standpoint, but that wasn't what this contract pertained. It was additional services as necessary. And so we've requested additional services.
So the services that we will receive would not include those additional services.
Unless requested,
Unless requested.
yes. Commissioner, stating that we have a question.
Parking decals,
Yes, ma'am.
why aren't they being checked anymore?
When we implemented it initially, it was being implemented, and then we got a lot of pushback from residents. To be honest with you, that it led to a point of an altercation that we had to choose either are we going to fight with a resident or just report it to management that this person is not complying, because some persons started to use it, so some never collected it. Some never collected it in the whole, and many times I've been there personally that I've advised them, please see the office on Monday, because I would come on the weekend and work along with the guards sometimes. Please see the office on Monday. Oh, I live here. And it just got a little confrontational, so we hire from within Trenton, so a lot of the guards that we got know some of the residents. I would be like, don't even push it. She lives here or he lives here. So it got to that point where the whole parking decal stuff just went by the way, even though it was pushed by us. Just the pushback from the resident became a point of confrontation that we referred them to management for further action.
And to add, we had 3 vehicles that rammed into the actual arm.
Yes.
Destroying or damaging the arm in significant manner. So the cost of maintaining this product has increased significantly. So that was another thing that derailed the actual implementation of it, because people were driving drunk and just speeding through and smashing into the arm.
Okay. So that's something that we're gonna have to work on, because I think first of all, if they're not residents, they shouldn't be coming in with their cars. They're coming in to visit, they have to park on Southern Street, Boulevard, Calhoun, whatever. I think that's the first thing I think that's something we need to work on. And although I'm sure the cost of the arm was, probably substantial, the level of security that gets compromised when you don't follow. If you give residents decals and only residents with a decal can park on the property, that has to be enforced. We have, and if folks don't like that, and I'm sorry that you run into confrontation, I can believe that happens. And certainly you don't want to have your personnel getting anything like this, to a point where, it's real escalated. Residents have to know. Residents have to know, if you have a decal, you can come in. If you don't have a decal, you can't. If you got a friend that's coming, they gotta park on the street. That's it. They gotta, if they can't walk very far, then you have to go visit them. I mean, at some point you have to lay down some things. You wanna fix it, but you have to fix it whole. It can't be piecemeal. Everybody has to play a part in it. I mean, we can sit here and, say what we want to happen, but then when it goes to implementation and it requires the cooperation of the residents, and they don't do their piece, then it's not a lot we can do. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I would like to see back in force, and we'll have to send some kind of a directive, some sort of a notice to residents about those decals, and have them in your car gets towed. I mean, you just have to and that's a terrible thing, but it's gotta start somewhere, you don't wanna take a real hard line on this, but, every month when I come and listen to the complaints about security and stuff, there's some things that, like, Madam Chair said, we all have to be in this together. So it's real important, if we take the extra step to secure you, then you have to take the extra step too to help us do that for you. So that's what I want to say about that.
May I add to that, Commissioner, when you do decide to come up with a plan, I would just ask that you consider for ride-share services, especially for the elderly and those with young babies. That's kind of a conundrum that we face many times at the front. Okay, this person can't walk, this person not a resident who's dropping them off. What do we do? Do we let them in? So in your consideration, if we could think about the elderly and the babysitting services and ride-share services would really be helpful to the security company.
Yeah, I get it. Certainly, I'll leave that to administration. That's day-to-day kind of thing you need to hammer out. But for the most part, they don't have a decal. They gotta park, they have to do all street parking. Okay, let me just get this right. Your services to us are Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. 4 p.m.
4
to
p.m.
8
to 8
a.m. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
okay. And then weekdays are 24 hours.
Weekends.
Weekends, I mean.
Yes.
I have this written down, I can't talk. Yeah, weekends, 24 hours, okay. And I heard you say, some of your staff are Trenton residents?
Yes, majority of them are Trenton.
Very good, I'm glad to hear that. When your people come on the shift, do they interact with the housing security so that they're abreast of any ongoing situations or something that looks suspicious that they should keep an eye on? Do they talk before they hand it off?
Our check-in point is at the front desk at Donnelly. I know the supervisor, Mr. Clyde, he is very instrumental in letting us know what's going on. Kind of like a liaison between the two groups. So Clyde, that's the supervisor during the day. So yeah, he is very instrumental in letting us know what's going on from the time we were off to the time we got back on.
And so Mr. Clyde can tell you about Abbott, and he can tell you about Johnson, and what's the other, Donnelly? So Mr. Clyde knows all that?
Yeah, he is the supervisor, but mostly it comes through Director Glover. He will call me and say, hey, could you have the guys take an extra patrol over at Abbott or one of the buildings that probably had a complaint during the time we were off. So I would get that call. I will instruct my operations manager to make sure that the guards are at the location that is being reported to us. So there is a line of communication if there's a problem in our absence.
You say, you have some of your other, leadership team here?
I have my number 2 guy,
Please
Mr.
have
Lowe.
them come up, please come and introduce yourself to us.
This is Howard Lowe.
Good afternoon. My name is Howard Lowe. I'm the operational manager for Prime Security.
Nice to meet you. That's all you have to, anyone else from your staff?
We have one of our armed guards here. Yeah, he's
Please come on up. Come on up. How you doing?
Yeah, ma'am, how are you?
I'm well, you are?
Joshua Gomez.
Yeah, are you responsible for our areas?
Yeah, the night shift.
How long have you been
I do
doing-
the patrol for the night shift.
How long have you been doing that work for us?
Going to 2 years now.
Well, nice to meet you. It's good to have a face
Yeah,
to Prime Security. Thanks for coming today.
No problem.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions or comments from members of the board? I believe our secretary had some questions or comments.
I have also comments, but thank you, Mr. Smith, for the presentation, and you can actually have a seat.
Thank you.
All right, but before I start, and to elaborate on the topics that you guys posed, so I would like to have Ms. Tammy Funches. I think she wanted to have, she had a comment, and Ms. Tammy Funches is one of our security managers.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm the supervisor for the 4 to 12 shift. I don't say Trenton Housing Authority, Prom, they're all under me. When they come in at 4 o'clock, they come into 875, I tell them what's going on, and we work as a team. It has to be a teamwork. Friday, when they were starting the cookout, I seen them putting the grill out because I was coming in at 4. They were setting up. I called Day Day. Day Day came over.
Who's Day Day, man?
Day Day is the prime security, the armed guard.
All right.
I called him. He came over. We went over to them. We said, you know y'all can't have a grill out here. They told us it's the community grill. I said, well, you need to take your community and your grill and leave. Then the person that lived in the house came out and said, I live here. We having the cookout. But then when I go inside, I go on Facebook, and they done posted on Facebook, Dolly Holmes cookout tonight. It's a mess. But it ain't but so much we can do. We tried. They shut us down. And then the Abbott situation, if somebody call me from the Abbott and I go over there, half of the people from the Abbott is the ones sitting on the side of the gates. And they little walkers. They the residents that's sitting on the gate. It ain't no strangers. It's the people that lives there.
That's not true.
Child, every time, okay, yes,
Hold your comments to yourself.
yes. When I go to if they call me at the Josephson, I go in, I talk to my guard, whatever the situation is, we handles it. I don't care what it is, what time it is, we goes. And it's like I said, Friday night when they had, I said, okay, I told Day next Friday, if they start this party, I'm gonna take cones, and in staff parking, I'm gonna put cones there, because we're closed. So therefore, no car should be in staff parking because we're closed. I'm trying to do things to try to stop the problem, but I need help. We need some suggested, and like the police, I call them, they ride in and ride out. I called them, they sat on my car Friday night, my whole hood of my car is scratched up. I went out there, can y'all not sit on the resident car, because I didn't want to tell them it was my car, so they won't bust the windows and stuff. I said, resident called and said, can you get off of their car? They got off for 5 minutes, right back on there. I go back to the door, I say, now the resident said they got to call the police. Stop sitting on their car. They don't care. I'm trying. Trust me, we trying.
Thank you.
And then just also to maintain relevance, the connection between your comments and Prime Security Services, just to make sure we're on the same page.
So the relevance is understanding that Ms. Funches represents Trenton Housing Authority paid security guards, meaning they wear the Trenton Housing Authority badge. Those are our security guards that actually provide services to the 3 senior buildings in any other location. Ms. Funches got on the phone, she started making the necessary phone calls, we did an incident report regarding that, and we were pursuing the residents for that altercation. But understanding that we are limited in what services we can actually provide, therefore we rely on assistance from an outside security department. You have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, to level set, Prime Security is, because residents came up and spoke about the security concerns that's going on within our properties, Prime Security was procured solely for Donnelly Homes. And the issues that was brought to our attention regarding Donnelly Homes over a couple of years, where we had Club Dolly, where it was 300 or so persons outside. That has not been the case over time with providing a security service. Now, the security service has been requested by the residents here. So understanding that there's a component that you guys were broaching on, whereas residents have to do their part. I had a conversation this morning, it was a very interesting conversation, and it touched base on the topic of civics. A lot of our people don't understand what civics mean. And when we talk about civics, we're talking about civilization. So for a civilization to advance, we have to have highly organized human society, an urban settlements where it's distinct of local hierarchies and specialized labor, which would be security as specialized labor. And that's a component of what we're trying to do and trying to provide, but people don't feel safe. It's a feeling. And we're a housing authority. We're not here for feelings. We're here to make sure that you're living in a safe environment. That means that the plumbing isn't busting you in your head. All right? We're making sure that the floors don't have holes in them. That is the public housing authority's responsibility and their role. When we start talking about the other components of civics, we're talking about citizens. We're talking about civilians. These persons that you see before you that are security guards, from Ms. Funches to the persons that are providing services from Prime, they are civilians. They are not supplemental service providers for our police department. They are not here to arrest. They do not have the authorization to pull a gun and shoot someone if there is an altercation. If you guys remember, George Floyd, it just happened. Law enforcement has changed. It has changed in the environment that we have to come with alternative measures in how we address these issues. And an alternative measure is talking and having conversation. The police force was identified on Friday that this altercation or that an altercation was happening and people were not being compliant. They came out, they were in cars, there was 3 to a car, they checked, they walked, they talked, and there was nothing that was providing an act of violence or criminal that was going on in our site. The reason why they do that, because it's called community policing now. And if we as a people are not civilized in how we conduct ourselves, what services do we expect to be provided? Because we're only going to go back to acts of violence against us. We're going to go back to situations where we would be forced to do something and forced to be compliant. That's not where we want to be at. We have to police ourselves. It's community policing. So I just wanted to address that with hearing some of the things that are coming that have been repeatedly coming. Yes, we are trying, and there's definitely opportunities for road of improvement. We can definitely do better. But one of the things with community policing is we have to hold the police force accountable.
Yes.
We have to come together and talk as a community in how we address the police force and the things that we will not tolerate, but we also have to report it ourselves on what's not going to be tolerated. Our communities today, we don't tolerate somebody reprimanding our own children. We don't tolerate somebody providing discipline to our children. But if we can't do that, how do we expect somebody to be compliant to Ms. Funches when she comes up and says, don't sit on the car? We have to hold ourselves accountable. That's where I want to go with. But that's what it leads into, is safety and security, and understanding that the housing authority is providing a different level of safety. And that safety is to make sure that our homes are sanitary. Our homes are not providing danger. That's the definition of safety when it comes to housing. But we will continue to provide whatever resources that are necessary to the best of our ability with providing outside security. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe, yes.
Yeah.
One more.
I like to say, I said it before, security is a very hard measure because there's so many limitations in what you can do. It's not like you can walk up on a group of people with nightsticks and enforce your word behind that nightstick. I agree with what Commissioner Staten said. If there's no sticker on the car, there's no coming in. That's the bottom line. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a time where the housing authority had stickers on cars, and if they didn't find a sticker, your vehicle was towed. You know, I mean, the purpose of having rules is that people follow them. You know, because somebody, acceptance don't always mean approval. You know, the rule is the rule. You don't live here, you don't drive up in here.
Answer that, Commissioner.
Just
The
one second, I
residents
wanna
here,
make sure that he finishes his comment.
yes, but the residents here also have to be compliant with the rule of making sure that their vehicles are registered here. So a problem that we do have per our parking policy and visitor program is vehicles have to be registered here.
I'm glad you brought that up because we had that problem before with you, and that's one reason why we have a guy like this sitting right here. What are the rules if they don't comply? What can we do? What's the answer to when somebody doesn't comply?
And in that situation, we can work with the Saferman Lake and all that too, because conditional release or something like that. There's ways to work with that, so certainly, we have to integrate that with the other firm, we have to work on that.
One of the issues we have with our residents registering is a lot of our residents have cars registered in their mother's name or somebody else's name. So you actually have a tenant here with a car, but the car is registered as somebody else's name who bought it for them or whatever. So that caused an issue.
My point is, you register the car, not the tenant.
So I'm gonna just take a moment to take control again of the meeting. This is becoming a general security conversation, which is important to have, but right now on the agenda is issues regarding prime security services, and so I would invite us to convene this conversation, perhaps under new business, to finalize that portion of the security conversation, but I'm asking that all final comments are relevant to prime security services.
Personally, I think what we're discussing right now is relevant to the conversation. It's a good part of it,
It's important, I agree, but I think that in terms of the agenda item, we have tabled since last meeting if we are going to renew the contracting services, and so any comments or questions that aren't gonna help us come to a decision if we're renewing our services with Prime Security, I would ask that we hold off until a later time in the meeting.
I'll comply, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any final questions or any final questions or concerns that might help us with the final decision? Then, at this time, we can move forward to resolutions. The first resolution is Resolution 2619, which is the resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Trenton, authorizing the Executive Director to enter into an agreement with Prime Security Service for security services for Donnelly Homes, which was tabled at the last meeting. So, we didn't read the resolution for this meeting, so I'm going to make an invitation for someone to move
The
that meeting
secretary reads the resolution.
before they.
And then,
So, we make a motion first,
no, Cliff has to
read
say.
the resolution, then.
He has to send it.
Okay, understood.
Wanna read?
Okay.
Resolution,
Just as a reminder, please leave all phones on silence.
It's not a phone, it's my daughter's meeting.
Oh, apologies. Thank
I
you.
apologize.
No need to.
Yes, no need to apologize. All right, Mr. Tibbs.
okay, so the resolution as it stands is 2619. This resolution authorized the Housing Authority authorize the Executive Director of the Housing Authority to enter into a contract with Prime Security for the first year to amount to $401,856,000 to extend for 1 year and can be canceled after this year. However, it is a 3-year contract that we can renew for the next 2 years at the same amount, which would be a total of $1,221,642 in total. So that is the resolution, is to enter into this agreement. And again, I want to stress that it is an agreement that will be revisited after the first year. So if there are any changes and things along those lines, we can revisit that after this first year to amend and move forward as we see forth as the body. But it is, we can lock in for 3 years to make sure that the cost doesn't exceed a certain amount. So just want to move forward with that.
Is there a motion for resolution 2619?
Second.
Questions or comments? Yes, Commissioner Weldon.
Mr. Tibbs, I just want to make, is this contract for it's for 1 year, is it all of the sites or just Donnelly?
It is for solely, I believe, for just this one. It is for Donnelly, but it is open to however we kind of address the needs, as we say. They do the roaming, but it is also, if we need them for fire watches and different things along those lines, it does open us up for us to contract with them or try to bring them on board to supplement those costs. But ideally, the contract as it stands is for Donnelly Homes.
So this is basically the base contract is for Donnelly.
Correct.
And if we ask them to do anything extra to any other sites, then that would be more money, is what you're telling me?
Yes, it would be an additional cost.
Question.
If you have to have it would be an additional cost because you have to bring in an additional security guard, if that makes any sense. So if we ask them to do the fire watch, if it's during the course of the day, we don't have them before 4 o'clock. Yeah, so we would be paying for those hours before 4 o'clock that we need for a fire watch, which would take your cost out. They would only be here 4 to
8
8 a.m. So whatever within that time period, it would be covered, but anything outside of that is additional.
Thank you.
A question in regard to those additional, charges if we were to request more. The boundaries are still within, right, every year, that 400 and so number, that it can't supersede that amount, or that would be an additional charge in addition to that yearly contracted amount.
We're allowed to go up 20% of the yearly contract.
Without bringing it back to the board
Without
for
bringing it back
review.
to the board.
So then, if and when we do
Reach those
request
capacities, we would then come back to the board and broach that at that time if we were to go above the
But then
400 and
the question
1,000.
is, for example, if the main site is Donnelly and we can request these other services, those charges are added, and then those charges are added on top of the 460 something thousand that's already contracted, up to 20%?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Piggyback off you, so you would more or less have a change order.
So,
Yes.
to that effect, yeah. We track the cost to so to speak, but yes, it would follow that same process. It would be additional cost and additional
Or
charge.
alternative to the base bid or something like that. It's the same kind of concept.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Any additional questions or comments? I have a comment actually I have a question first. If we do not pass this agenda or this resolution today, are we still maintaining our month-to-month contract with Prime Security Services?
Yes, that would be good.
Okay.
Something that we would.
Thank you, yes, I agree with that. Now, second, my comment has to do with what I think seems to be, and I think I heard a comment earlier about it, a scope of work issue, where when we were having some additional services because of the needs, residents noticed it and had positive feedback in regard to it. But then when the contract went back to its original scope, that was also noticed and there was a negative feedback to it. I don't think it necessarily has to do with the quality of service being provided by, with the security services that is the problem, rather what we request of them. And so, my comment is I think it would be prudent for us to revisit the contract and the scope and what we want to request of Prime Security Services before approving it, so that way we can have a new baseline of what we're asking. That is my thought there. But,
No.
but with that said, if there's no other additional comments or questions, we can move forward towards a vote. Roll call?
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
No.
Commissioner Lopez,
No.
Commissioner Staten,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Dorn.
Yes.
Motion for resolution 2619 successfully passes. Moving on, we are now at resolution 2625.
Okay, 2625. This resolution authorizes the approval for disbursements for May in the amount of $1,610,567.25, split between the general fund and the capital fund. It is recommended that the Board of Commissioners adopt the resolution approving the disbursements for the month of May.
Is there a motion to pass resolution 2625?
So moved.
Second? Yes, all right. Any questions or comments on resolution 2625?
Comment, Mr. Chair, just want to say it was a well-prepared report by Mr. Tibbs. Here it is, read, follow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Is there a roll call?
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Staten,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon.
Yes.
Next, we have the final resolution, resolution 2626.
I think it's up tonight, yes, sir, right?
Yes, that's up to you.
All right, okay. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Public staff. Apologize for my background to everybody here. Just a little history here before we get into the resolution itself. As I think everybody here can admit, and as we've discussed kind of in some of the different contexts, the housing stock at the Trenton Housing Authority is generally older. In other words, I say older, some was built 100 years ago, or at least in the last 70. What that means for lead abatement purposes is a lot of the paint that was on in a lot of the residences preceded the lead abatement requirement in the late 1970s. So underneath a lot of the paint and other areas in the buildings, you'll see older paint that actually violates the lead abatement standards. What happened was about 2023, is that correct? I'm looking at Ms. Huff and Ms. Mathis, who were very helpful, especially Ms. Mathis, in bringing this to hopefully a positive conclusion. There were inspections done by EPA. You have two entities here that are involved, EPA and HUD, with oversight. So we have two entities, and there are two overriding issues that came about as a result of these inspections that occurred back in 2023 and actually in the years before that. The first issue is lead removal and abatement with the testing and reporting. That's number one. Number two is the requirement for the housing authority and any other entity in its similar capacity to have its leases updated for notices to the residents who are occupying those structures and those residences that there has been lead in those locations. It's a notice requirement under the applicable regulations. So what happened going forward was after those, and Ms. Hoff and Ms. Mathis, correct me if I'm wrong, and feel free to supplement, but what happened was after those inspections were done, notices were filed that the Housing Authority was in violation of several regulations under EPA and under HUD. Now, it's important for everybody to know that other housing authorities have been subject to these same inspections and have undergone similar situations to what we're proposing to resolve today. Syracuse, Newark, Buffalo, I think Jersey City too, I'm not sure, several housing authorities in similar situations. And what happened was, as the process went forward, there's a compliance process in which basically Our folks are educated, we confer with HUD and EPA, and come to an agreement that we'll improve our compliance processes, which again, I think was something that kind of to reflect what the secretary and the executive director talked before in a different context. When we have limited staff, limited resources sometimes, it's not always easy to keep up with some of these regulations. However, I'm going to give Ms. Mathis a really big shout out because she did a Herculean task in organizing information so that we are now on the road to compliance, and hopefully will avoid any kind of penalties that could occur as a result of the process that went forward. And I will say that based upon the work that she and Ms. Huff primarily did, we're able to limit the amount of potential fines, I say potential, to a fraction of what they could have been when compared to other housing authorities. That's important because I think that shows that EPA and HUD have faith in the staff and what we're doing going forward to make these compliance efforts a reality. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that the staff really worked hard once they were put on notice to get this done. So going forward, these consent agreements require us to meet certain thresholds and standards for a lot of things we talked about: lead abatement, making sure that the contractors are certified, making sure that the reports are filed in a timely manner, and then also to make sure that our leases and all the other documents are compliant with those regulations as well, so that when new residents come in, they're advised of the situation in their particular buildings. Not every building, but many of the buildings that, of course, predate, like as I said, the lead standards of the late 1970s. Have I forgotten anything? Okay, I want to make sure. I don't want, because there was a long process that I'm trying to condense to a shorter period of time. The most important thing to say is we're well on our road to compliance, and I think, again, the staff's done a great job to get us here. So I would ask that the commissioners consider passing resolution 2626 to authorize the executive director to sign the consent agreements, and then we will supply them to HUD and EPA. Somebody may ask, what if we don't do this? Then we'll be under their watchful eye, and we'll have a lot bigger potential penalties that we'll be looking at. But we're well on our way to complying. I want to again thank the staff for doing this. Any questions?
Is there a motion first to pass resolution 2626?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Sorry, not pass, excuse me, a motion. And it's questions or comments? Commissioner? Stacy?
Okay, thank you. Couple of questions, True.
Sure.
So when you talk about this notification to the residents, almost like a right to know, like when you buy property, kind of like.
And it's, yeah, it'll be, actually, it's required to be in the leases themselves going forward. I think we've already started implementing that, is that right? Yeah, so it's a HUD requirement. I think there's two components. I think that's primarily the HUD requirement, not the EPA requirement, but they overlap.
So when the authority goes into this remediation mode, will they be partnering with local, will they have local partners like Isles and folks like that?
Yes, in fact, they're already participating in that. Now, there were some of the certified contractors that have already been working on that, yes. They're part of that program. I can't remember all the names of them, but there's several. Actually, some of them are noted actually in the consent agreements too.
Oh, okay.
In fact, almost all of them are local contractors, I think, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And we also have staff, people on staff are trained and certified as well. So it's a collaborative effort that way.
Well, I just want to, next is just a comment. I want to thank Ms. Mathis and Ms. Huff for their efforts to get us where we are now, close to completion and close to compliance, and that's a real big thing. You're right, we certainly don't want to get run over by this train, so glad we're ahead of it. I just want to say thanks for the great work.
And we would have been here earlier, but as people understand, after the 2024 election, EPA thought it was going to close down for a while, so there was actually a hiatus of any communications for like 4 or 5 months, then it resurfaced. So it's been kind of in fits and starts, but we're here now, I think, and that's the most important thing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry? Yes. Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Stadium?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Gordon?
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Next, we have old business. Is there any old business? New business? Yes, Commissioner.
New business, Mr. Chair, the policy committee, which I am chairing, and my members who are yourself and Gary Gentry, we'd like to present the fire awareness and fire prevention policy to the board for your review and for your consideration as a formal action. You should have gotten it separate in your packet. Yeah, was there any comments about it? You're looking for comments regarding this policy?
I have comments
Okay.
or questions
Okay.
for the next iteration and actual implementation or instituting that particular policy into our fold. Will there be additional discussions with the committee and the administration? on that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Ongoing.
Yeah, well, ongoing
Ongoing.
because what was presented there has a large level of implication as far as how we implement it in the house rules, the lease, and other components, the ACOP, stuff like that. So just wanted to know that we are having an additional conversation. All right.
Certainly good.
Any additional, well, in regard to new business, the fire policy, any questions or comments? Question, the intention is to officially make a motion next month or to place on the agenda next meeting, rather, this policy for official approval
Well, actually, I'd like to see it moved today,
today.
because there's no comment. People had a chance to review it, there were no comments. I'd like to see if we can move things today, if that's possible.
Is there a motion on,
I did review it. Remember the conversation that we had, that we needed to make sure that some other things were in place first.
The fire drill, yeah, that's separate.
so, just a point of
One
order.
moment.
No, sorry, point of order is that if we're gonna continue questions and comments on the topic, I think there should be a resolution, specifically, because it's now starting to get into whether it is ready or not. And so I believe that there should be a motion on the board, and if there is a clarity that needs to be made by, our lawyer in regards to how, I believe this part of the meeting should be run, I'm willing to be corrected.
Well, it'd be appropriate if there's a request for a motion to the fire policy as presented to the commissioners.
That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
Not how you appropriate to ask that question.
Any questions or comments? Chairwoman Logan, either way.
Move on.
Any other, questions or comments?
Just as a follow-up, this policy certainly can't be amended, modified. It's not instant done today. So obviously we have concerns or questions. It doesn't have to be done today, but if it is done today, it's not the final product. There's a lot of things that we think will be, as I understand it. And we can
It's a
prepare.
working document, absolutely.
It's a
We need-
working document,
it's-
but not the final.
No, it is, it's a policy, but it's certainly open to some, there's nothing in place now. So I need something just in place. We can make it, put bows and their bells on it later, but we need to put something in place and that's solid.
So if there's no additional
So,
questions or
one
comments?
moment.
Oh, you do have a question? Chairwoman?
I think the issue is, we can do the fire policy, but remember also, a part of the fire policy is the smoking policy. And I think that's where the difference is, if we can vote on this or not, because there's more things of the smoking policy that needs to be enforced first before we can, because see, inside the fire
Yeah.
policy, right? The smoking policy has a lot to do with the fire, policy. So that's why I thought we needed to have a deeper conversation with the policies that are already, that should already been in place with the smoking policy. Because remember, like the smoking policy,
Yeah,
we all know, for one, you're not supposed to smoke in your unit.
Right.
That's one. Two, we know that you're not allowed to smoke within 25 feet of the building.
yeah.
Those are the issues that we are having right now with the smoking policy.
And the smoking policy is in the lease.
The smoking
Correct.
policy, yes.
All right, so mine isn't about the lease, this is the authority's policy. The lease is something different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if there's an infraction of the smoking policy, it's an infraction of the lease itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I
At
get
least
that.
that's where I'm at, that
Okay.
this policy is a guide for us, the authority, to provide awareness and safety and fire safety and awareness.
And so
Okay.
for a point of clarity,
Yes.
and, yes,
As a good point of clarity, it's a specific Robert's Rule of Order term, and so, it's still on Chairwoman Weldon for her questions and comments, but acknowledging the point of clarity.
so that's why I was asking if we were adopting the draft versus an actual policy, because a lot of things that are suggested, as Chairman Weldon is saying, you have the smoking policy that's referenced in there, as well as personnel actions that's referenced in there. So I would like for us to meet together on how personnel, or it rolls up into the personnel policy. So that's why I was just saying, will we have another meeting to discuss what's being presented to make sure that it can be applied holistically through all the, like the ACOP has additional references, like to make sure that it's adopted in a proper format. So that's why I was asking
Okay.
earlier.
Thank you. Still, with Chairwoman Weldon.
I'm good.
Okay, yes.
Oh, and just to add, vaping too, because that's the new form of smoking. So would it be fire, smoking, and vaping?
And the vaping is in the smoking policy.
Okay.
We have that as a reference.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Any additional questions or comments on, and I guess the point of clarity for me, the resolution was for adoption, yes or no?
Correct. No, it's for review.
No.
It's for review.
So
It's for-
Commissioner Staton, has presented what.
adoption, is that what you're asking for?
I'm asking for adoption.
That's what I thought, okay.
Adoption,
I'm
yeah,
asking
so,
for adoption.
clarity is, what we're voting on is if this will be official Tri-Housing Authority policy or not. It's not right now, but that's what, Commissioner Staton is requesting with her motion.
It's just the policy.
Are there any questions or comments, final ones?
I have a question. So when you guys came up with this, did you actually look at the ACOP, what we already have?
No.
And did you actually look at what the, smoking policy is that we already have?
All right,
No.
thank you,
Okay, that's all.
thank you. All right, roll call.
What's the
Commissioner
second?
Gentry.
What's the second?
Yes,
Yes.
Thank you.
that's why we're,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'm sorry, before we do roll call.
Yes,
So we are voting to adopt this policy
And it's subject to
We
amendment.
adopt this as policy.
as policy,
yes.
For a draft.
a draft.
No, the motion was as a final.
But don't you want to have a draft before we actually have the final
The,
policy?
the,
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're all right, so maybe, all right. Next.
Like, so you know, to convene on the draft, and
I can-
then
I
we
can-
adopt the draft, then we adopt the.
I'm fine, okay, I can respect that, okay.
So
Or is it adopted
currently,
as a draft?
That's the draft.
Yes,
All right,
that's
okay.
right.
so is there,
Well, do you accept that as a second?
I do
Okay.
accept that amendment, yes, amendment to the motion.
so then the motion has been amended to approve this draft
Right.
for review and,
With review.
With review.
because-
What you
yeah,
feel, right.
And so,
All right.
review, hopefully some, because I've had this on the pot for a
Yes.
minute.
Right.
And I haven't had a lot of response, a lot of feedback. And so, when we work on things, I like end result.
Yes.
I'm results driven, so let's hope that it's a draft, you guys will take it. Instead of we go over the summer, if you like, and we go over it again, and then we're gonna come back. And, this is like, it's gonna come to an end, because I wanna move on to another policy.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Stady,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon Worth.
Yes.
Is there any more new business? Moving on, next we have public session. As a reminder, when you step up to the podium, please state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to speak on your comments unless otherwise directed.
So did you have additional comments?
Yeah.
Deborah Hutchison, Josephson Building, Vice President. What I wanted to talk to you about today was the election that we had at our building. It was put off a month. They usually have the election in April, but it went to May. And they said the reason was because of the bylaws that was changed, but we never received the bylaws, the new ones that made a change that had our election to be put off. We don't have a full board at our building. It's only 4 members. We're missing a secretary. We met with Trenton Housing Authority for the first and second meeting at Abbott Building. The Housing Authority made it perfectly clear that once the person is clear to become a candidate to run the election, that they're hands off. Well, that wasn't the case, because after the second meeting, the Housing Authority employee met and spoke with one of the candidates when all the other candidates weren't there in the building. A resident of that building heard the conversation and let us know about it. At the last minute, they put flyers out. We didn't have a chance to debate some of the false accusations that was put on the flyers from the candidates. There was like no session for the residents to find out what we want to go in the future ahead. Why would they vote for us? It was a bunch of stuff put on the flyer saying they did this and they did that, but it wasn't something that we all could debate against and talk with. The residents can see what was a better choice for them for the future. We never got a chance to do that. We went through the election at the last minute. That representative told us that this person was going to be at our building in a private setting for the voting. At the last minute, they changed the 2 people and switched the buildings, and where they said they was going to have the people vote at, it didn't happen. They put it in a different room for whatever reason. It was just like a lot of interference that when Trenton Housing Authority told us when we became candidates that they were hands off. And that was not the case. That's not the case how we felt in the building. A lot of the residents voiced their opinions to me, and they wanted to find out if it was a petition or something that we could sign to get a re-election or something, because they felt as though the candidates did not have a chance to speak and let the residents know what is our vision for the building, and if they really want this person to be in the office that they're in. It was none of that. The ballots were, anybody can fill out the ballots. We figured the ballots was going to say,
If you could just finish your thought, I don't want to cut you off.
okay, the ballots just said who they wanted, but they didn't say resident 910 made this ballot. It was no accountability like who did what.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments, or rather, yes?
Ms. Hudson, so are you saying at this point in time that your committee of folks don't want the election? Do you guys want, you want a petition to have a new election?
A new election because they didn't get a chance to address some of the stuff that was said, like clean air. What do you mean by that? What did you do for our building that we still have mold in the building?
All right, so a part of our agenda was to have the swearing in of candidates to, of elected council members. So we saying,
No, I don't believe that should happen today. I mean, not for Joseph. I'm speaking for Joseph.
So, I think this is a matter that the board should decide. I think we all should be able to look at any policy to understand what an appeals or petitions process looks like. 'Cause I'll tell you now, I don't know what an appeals process looks like. I think this may be the first time we've experienced this. But yes, there's a question.
Mr. Chair, thank you. My first alarm was someone changed the bylaws. That don't happen. That doesn't happen. No single person changes the bylaws or anything. So there's the first valve. The second valve is if you have an election of residents, I don't think it should have been a secret ballot. There should have been some accountability, like you would have had to, if nothing else, put your apartment. I mean, this doesn't sound very well organized, and that is one of the reasons why I have stressed for the last year for residents to have training, leadership training, so that they know how to govern themselves. Because clearly, whatever information or whatever representation they got, it sounds like it wasn't correct. Because that bylaw thing, I can't get past that. There's no way.
Well, let's hope for clarity on that, because we don't know all the particulars, right? But I think the main thing is, are we doing that section?
I think that.
I don't think so.
Okay,
At the time of the agenda where we deal with the swearing in of the resident council members, we will have a formal invitation for a motion to postpone or decline. That is up to the board, but when we get to that point on the agenda.
Wait, why?
Oh, what happened? We got
I'm confused, yeah, because we didn't have a problem.
So the question is for the board to decide what will be done at that time of the agenda. We are not making a decision yet. We are not making a decision yet. If there are comments specifically about this issue, this is exactly the time to do that. As a reminder, please put your name on the sign-in sheet. This is public comments. She expressed her right to do so, and we would encourage all of you to express your right to do similarly. Now, whoever is next on the sign-in sheet, please come to the podium. What? Okay.
Hello again.
Yes. Hello.
Abbott didn't have a problem, y'all. Oh, I'm Miss Londina Bobo again. We don't have a problem. We didn't have a problem with our voting process, getting to know each other. We had a thing where the residents came down and we did what we needed to do. I don't feel like everybody needs to be punished because of, a situation that's going on in one building. So I don't think that that's fair that we have to wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
So when did y'all receive the letter to know who won what position?
I have the letter in my purse. I can give it to you. It was Monday. Yeah.
You got it this Monday?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, thank you. That's
Yeah,
all.
okay.
Thank you.
May I see your letter?
Yes, ma'am. It was, well, I got mine. We got our mail on Monday. I know, because I was the first to get it. Well, they, y'all have to talk to them now, man, because they don't know.
Is anybody else on the side of the sheet?
Okay, hold it down. We're gonna
Miss
move on.
Carla Coleman.
Thank you.
My name is Carla Coleman and I live in the Dorset building. My problem is every time I get home, my door is unlocked. My door is unlocked. Some people will be smoking on my floor. They leave trash in the hallway by the elevator, shopping cart. And they leave shopping cart. And sometimes other people do a lot of people wrong, but so like, let me see, some people do people wrong. Like some things that people do wrong in the building, and they go back and tell the people lies about other people, and that's kind of wrong. And they not nowhere around. How you gonna lie to somebody and they not home in the building? They not home. Like I'm not home, and they go back and tell lies about my people when I'm not home. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Who's next on the sign-in sheet, please?
Next, we have Mr. Isaiah Patek.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Please state your name and.
Isaiah from the Abbott Building.
Thank you.
My concern is that I've been living in the building for 16 years. I haven't had repairs done to my unit. My bathtub needs to be sprayed, the unit needs to be painted. And I pay like $900 a month for it's like 15 years. So I want to know when can I get that taken care of? Or is there any way it could be done?
You have a work code.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I've been living in the Abbott Building for 16 years. I'm trying to get some repairs done. They've been promising that they're gonna come out and paint the tub and put a new countertop in, and nothing's been done yet.
All right, thank you for expressing your concern.
I'm not sure, Mr. Leggett, is that?
We'll take a note of it. We'll make a note of it and get to it.
You'll
Thank
be
you.
directed to the right person.
You have a question?
Is there a question? Yes.
Wait. I just want to make sure process is done. Did you put in a work order?
Yes.
You have a copy of it?
No.
How come?
They didn't give me one.
They don't give you one?
I called in. Made a request.
Are you done with your
Yeah.
question? Sorry, yes.
Is that how all the work orders work, where they have to call in, or is it, like, what's the process of work orders?
Normally,
They call it in?
if you go downstairs, you get a copy?
Nope, you don't get nothing back. They just write it down for themselves. They don't give us a copy of it.
All right, thank you for the clarity. Is there any other questions from the commissioners at this time? All right, no
Next,
other questions? Whoever's
Miss
next.
Virginia Marshall.
Virginia Marshall, and I live in Donnelly. I'm a resident in Donnelly.
I'm gonna ask that we respect the speaker, over at the podium, so if we can keep all comments in the crowd. Yourselves, please, thank you.
First, I want to thank Dr. Pruitt and Tanya Grant for putting together a senior computer class. Tomorrow will be the last day for it. It's an excellent class. The seniors love it. People learned how to turn on a computer. Some people haven't did it at all. They learn how to navigate, internet, so it'll probably help them online to pay their rent. So, we'll go into all of that tomorrow. Also, the maintenance, we're trying to work with Mr. Leggett as far as getting work orders, making sure so that everybody can be in compliant. We know HUD is coming back around, and also the maintenance, they do a good in cleaning the ground with all the mess that we have going on. The other issue I have is, we deal with USI, which is Urban Strategies, Inc. Our residents have a lot of complaints, meaning, misinformation. They attended the neighborhood choice with Christie Health, and they also expressed that. We also went to Urban Strategy and expressed, and had them come to the tenant meetings to let the residents tell them about the situations. We also had other situations with one of the Urban Strategies. We asked for a meeting, but we didn't get a meeting. We got a letter saying that they didn't want to deal with us on a monthly basis anymore after they asked us to have monthly meetings. My thing is, there's no I and we. We all have to work together. If there's issues that come up, people have to be willing to hear them, whether it's good or bad. And you have to be willing to work together, whether you like a person or not. We have to remove ourselves in thinking it's about us. We have a duty to service these residents. Whether you're sworn in, whether you're getting paid, whether you're political or not. We have to do our due diligence pertaining to these residents. We have been telling the residents to also do their due diligence, and we're working with them on that. But I would like to give the board a copy of the letter that we received from Urban Strategies. To me, I still feel as though it's a situation that needs to be rectified, needs to be handled, and a meeting needs to be had. I don't understand why every time the Downey Resident Council, we ask to sit at the table, people don't want to sit at the table. Everybody had a sidebar meetings, and they not include us. And that's the problem I'm having with everybody. Because I still feel a lot of situations is not getting rectified. I'm still willing to work with any and everybody, and long as, and our board, resident council also, to deal with any situation, to get clarity, to get resolved, or anything that needs to be happening.
You may finish your thought, but your time is up.
Okay, thank you. So again, I'm requesting for a meeting and clarity on different issues, misinformation, and any other things that need to be happening so we can move forward in servicing the residents, who this is really about.
Thank you.
Yes.
Copy of that letter first.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea about the situation, and I will personally schedule a meeting and bring.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But, Ms. Hunt, the meetings that you guys established another committee. There was an establishment of another resident committee. What is
I
it?
mean, we have the RAC board meeting.
Which I attend.
Resident advisory committee, and that's to give input on development changes. But USI has their own meetings. The board, resident board has their own meetings. So it's several meetings going on at the same time, so, or different times, and I don't know if everyone is synced, so.
Okay,
we
so
discuss it more.
please speak to Ms. Hunt, because there may be a lot of redundancy that's happening, and to consolidate that may be a reason.
Well, no. Okay, go ahead.
But just speak to her.
Okay.
In reference to that, because as Ms. Hunt said, there's a lot of meetings going on pertaining to these, the community engagement, involvement, awareness, dealing with USI. But speak to her first.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get more clarity on what's going on.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have
Next,
anyone
Ms.
else?
Millette.
Good afternoon. Roulette Hammond, Josephson, 705. Okay. First one about the trees being trimmed in the yard around the flag and the court that we don't have.
There you go.
Hi.
You have a cord, what you talking about?
Pardon me, sir?
You have a cord.
No. If you sent it, I don't have it. I don't know about it. There are a couple of lights, about 6 of the lights on the grounds are out. They're not working. I ran here today, so I didn't talk to maintenance about it yet. We've had several door alarms busted, especially the one that's coming out through maintenance into the east parking lot. And I've had to call poor Mr. Glover in the middle of the night sometimes because it's not working. One time we had one of those huge ladders left in the middle of the walkway going to the parking lot, and our neighborhood is not safe, and I could just see it walking away somewhere. The front of the building is not being cleaned properly. If you go to the building, you look at the windows, they have not been cleaned. There are cobwebs, spider webs all over them. And of course, we are leaving trash in front of the building, like our empty bottles and cans. And some of us decided that the front walkway is where to leave our apartment trash. I can talk about the windows. The Trenton Housing Authority sent in some furniture for security, for the security desk. And when it was going to be put up, it was found that it wasn't the right thing. So a new one was ordered. So on one side right here is the old stuff. They come in and they put the new stuff right here. So the space that they left was maybe about this big. So God forbid if we had an emergency where the paramedics had to come, they would have had a problem. So I called whining about that, and he took care of that also, because I tried to call maintenance and nobody in maintenance wanted to hear what I had to say. Again, I texted Mr. Glover, and within about 20 minutes, they took it and put it somewhere in the maintenance offices. So I want to just say thank you publicly to him for that. And then I'm going to switch purpose. This is the bylaws that Ms. Kaya and Ms. Grant gave us. I ran for president at Josephson. And if you all would take the time after this meeting, because I don't think you want to hear all of this here, to talk to us, that'd be great. Thank you.
Ms. Allen, I have something.
Excuse me.
Okay, next we have Ms. Graham. Thank you, Ms. Graham.
Hello again. Okay, far as the, getting a, let me see how I wrote this. As far as getting copies, to, bring in like the work orders, you can go down here and request a copy of your work orders. Last time when I came and talked to the committee when I was having a problem with the feces and stuff, and Mr. Leggett sent over the contractors to fix my flooring and my toilet and all that kind of stuff, I had bought copies and with me, but I didn't give them to y'all. Okay. As far as the smoking, 25 feet from the building, outside, as I understand, Oakland Avenue was the front of the building at one time. That was the way the residents traveled in years ago. That's what I understand. So at this point, I think that there should be some no parking signs or something. I really do, because them residents, I repeat, the residents that live in Abbott Building do not sit on the side of that Oakland Avenue. They do not sit there. Them are outsiders. People bring their grills. Like I said, I live on the first floor. I do have asthma and COPD. People bring their grills and be out there selling dinners on Abbott property. So I just think that, is it something that y'all can do?
Could you be more specific in that, on Abbott property, inside the fence or
Outside the gate?
Right
But that's
city.
that's the city?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's city property.
Okay. Well, I have a big problem with that. I do call the cops and everything. I do.
We hear what you're saying.
That is a big issue. And as far as the smoking, 25 feet, that's safety, right? So they be right there smoking, so maybe y'all could do something about that then. Since y'all talking about the fire safety, that's safety for us.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
The minutes can note that Mr. Gentry left the 140, Mr. Wellensworth left the 148. We still barely have a quorum, so.
Next, we have Mr. Fox.
There's no more votes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a situation that I'm already talking for.
Oh, you know,
Do you have anything else to vote on?
Excuse me, sorry.
I'm so sorry, sir.
My name is Ricky Fox. I reside at 490 Harper Avenue. I come up here to talk. Actually, I was coming to say one thing, but to answer your question, Mr. Leggett, yes, I received that letter about my tub. But what about my living room, my kitchen, the stuff that y'all was supposed to fix months ago?
Mr. Fox, you can only address us.
Well, he asked me a question on the way out.
You had to talk to him on your way out.
Okay. Now, once the election go, the Abbott building is ready. We had no problems going on at this time besides what need to be done. But as residents, we all on one accord, and we're ready. That's why we are here to be sworn in. We had nothing to do with Joseph or French when it comes down to the election. And that's all I want to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Ms. Pickett?
But before we move on,
yeah, I was going to say, now that we don't have a quorum, actually, we can't take action on the swearing in, so we'll have to defer that to the next event.
so a point of clarity for everyone here. We have lost quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of members we need to take official action on behalf of the board. As a result of that, we will continue the meeting. However, we will be unable to take any official action. And apparently, right, that would include the swearing in of our resident council. This was not a planned act. This is unforeseen. But that is the impact. We will continue on with public session to continue to hear and take notes of all that people want to share. But unfortunately, we are now considered adjourned.
Susan Pickett, Joseph. I was one of the ones who,
Wait a minute, hold on, Madam Chair.
There's a question.
Can I have Mr. Fox?
Yeah.
Folks from Abbott.
We are not denying the swearing in. We just
I
can't
got it.
officially.
But you guys, I don't mean to be out of order, but don't go away mad. We had some issues we had to deal with, right? And so the first thing was crime security. And we needed to hear from you first before we voted on it. We're trying to be intentional in what we do. The time just flies, and you know, everybody works on this board. So, it wasn't a diss to you guys. We're glad that Abbott had a successful election, and I'm sorry that we ran out of time and we can't, but it wasn't intentional. We wanted to handle the business first. Security is the biggest thing, wouldn't you say? And then your leadership, your officers. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
So don't go away mad. We'll get this thing rescheduled next month for you guys to get sworn in. But we had to handle the business first. And the first thing was making sure you had adequate security and you had an opportunity to speak to that.
This is a formality.
Okay? So don't go away mad.
So we actually have another point of clarity. There was a confusion when speaking to the group here, but there is now a clarity. There is not an official vote on our part that happens, and so the swearing in is a formality. You all, as of this moment, are members of the resident council. And if there are issues, the board still is subject to make formal decisions. They just will be limited to making those formal decisions at a later time. And so there were claims that will be investigated to understand, because we want to take all claims seriously. But at this time, swearing in is a formality. That means you are already on the council. However, the board still reserves the right to make decisions and changes moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now will proceed with public comments.
Okay, the elections that took place, they were not proper. They were not according to the bylaws before this rewriting. This rewriting
before it can be put into action, we have to vote on it. You see, one thing I do not like about all that took place was that the people who are over, they don't know, because they would have led us down another path if they did. The whole thing. The path that we were led down, they did not know. So we did as they said, which I knew better. I mentioned better, but no, no, no. And then all of a sudden they're talking about, well, we're hands off. Okay, so I just want to let you know that. But as far as what was done, I think it's disgraceful that a whole week goes by. That sounds like, you know, somebody else yelling, you know, this was a gimmick. This is, you know, not right. And these votes shouldn't have done this and they shouldn't have done that. Okay? I just think that it was a sham. And the people who led us, they need to be taught better. Because everybody can't handle everything. But if you don't know, you should go ask somebody.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Good afternoon. Jamie Williams, resident Abbott Building, 490 Hoffman Avenue. Just some clarity. Thank you, I believe it's Commissioner Lopez. Thank you for your clarity that we are still officially a resident council, and we can, I just want to get more clarity that we can start to function as a resident council and executive board.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so when we're looking at it, if the Board of Commissioners would like to take that petition into consideration or acknowledge the petition that you guys fill out, if there is anything in place where the residents are saying as a whole that this is not happening.
Not happening. Now, the thing is, and what I want to address is, now, when they say the bylaws have been changed, that's for all the residents, and me looking at the one that I was given before, which was in January, before they said they were going to make the changes, because we started in January with this, then they delayed it, then and then we were told that the bylaws are being changed. So far as I could see, from the bylaws being changed, there was only minor things. The minor thing was the name switching from sergeant at arms to member at large. The duties are still the same, and most of everything that's written in the bylaws is still the same. So that was the excuse given, but it was, looking at it, there's no major changes. Just for clarity.
And the changes that were there, the changes are coming from the CFR, which is the Code of Federal Regulations. And so the bylaws were provided in a more, I guess, more alignment with the Code of Federal Regulations. I'm not sure if there was a vote on it or anything like that, but I'm just pointing out that's what happened.
That's CFR from HUD.
Yes, that's the HUD CFR. That's how these or councils should be governed, is based off of HUD and what they said.
Which I assured our council that they couldn't make changes by law without HUD or the board's permission. And I figured, I know it can't be that complacent or that. So anyway, that's the main thing I wanted to address, and to make sure that we can still function as a council, a resident council, and start to have meetings and function.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to mention. Thank you so much.
Ms. Lane?
Hello, everybody. My name is Dorothy Lang. I am the Vice President of the Tenant Council. I'm here to address, I want to know, we got sworn in. When we first got sworn in, Okay, they asked us to become a, to have a board. We agreed, okay. Then when they started with the USI, they asked us to come on board before everything got started. We agreed to come in and help. Okay, we helped them get to where everything is at right now. Now they're telling us because they don't want us to be a board, want us to come in and work with the tenants. Why is that? I want to know why. And another thing is that they had a meeting. Why we wasn't told about the meeting and why we weren't there. But they saying now that they don't want us to work with USI. We the one that got USI where they're at. They would have never been there wasn't for us. Why? Because the tenants, they didn't trust them when they first got here. Okay, but they all came to us. We assured them that USI is okay. Then they started to believe in them and trust in them because of us. Now, because of some misinformation that the tenants was given, they are coming to us about it. Okay, now they came back to them. Now they don't want to work with us because we told the tenants, okay, no, I have to address it, have to find out with USI. I was told it was misinformation. Okay, so if you're gonna make a decision that you don't want to work with us, you gotta realize we are the tenant board. We got you where you're at, okay? And I'm gonna ask you now, if you want to make that decision, you didn't swear us in. Trenton Housing Authority swore us in. We've been working hard. You may not hear our names all the time, but we've been working hard. And the tenants will vouch for us, okay? So now, I want to know how come we ask for a meeting, we don't never get it. Just like Ms. Marshall said, we ask. We don't ever get the meeting. Then they come to us and tell us, okay, we're not doing anything. I'm looking at...
Finish your thought, but your time.
Okay, but I want to know, can we have a meeting? I want to know why you don't want us, because you're telling us you don't want us to work with the tenants then.
If I could just clarify, when you say you are telling us we can't have a meeting with them, who is you and who is them?
With USI, they
So
don't
USI
give us a
doesn't want to
meeting.
have a meeting with
Yeah,
you.
I want to know why you
Okay.
come to this decision.
Thank you. Wait, we have come to this decision, or USI has come to this decision?
We want to find out.
Why USI has come to that decision?
Right.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
That was the last speaker.
All right, so, in this unique predicament where the adjournment technically has already happened, I don't believe there's a call for adjournment, but we are officially done with the meeting, so thank you all always for your time. We will continue to address your concerns as always.
One last thought. Could you, when talking to the residents that were here today, they don't get a copy of the agenda for these meetings. I know it's online, maybe they don't, go online. I would just ask that if it's not a procedure now, that the administration will consider posting the meeting on the bulletin board in all of the buildings so that residents know what's coming up that we're gonna be talking about.
Okay, so you mean post the agenda?
Post the agenda, post the agenda in all the buildings and on your bulletin board, they all have a bulletin board. And in a color, so that they kind of know what it is, because I gave them out tonight.
Thank you for your recommendation. I think it's a good one.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
We're all over.